Stress can be dealt with in a maladaptive or an adaptive manner. In this fictional situation, we have two characters, Adam and Bob, and they are both enrolled in a government class at Texas A&M University. They both wake up and realize they have a quiz in 2 hours for their class, and they both realize they have not studied one bit and feel a shock run through their bodies. Both of their pupils dilate and they begin to sweat. Adam's amygdala, which is responsible for fear and emotional responses, sends a signal to trigger his fight or flight response, causing an initial surge of adrenaline. Adam's pupils dilate, he begins to sweat, and his heart rate is elevated beyond the normal range. His blood pressure rises and he can feel his heart beating in his chest. Bob has the same fight or flight response, and his amygdala also sends a signal triggering his sympathetic nervous system, causing the same physical manifestations of fear as Adam. Both Adam and Bob's amygdala send signals through their prefrontal cortexes, and they both begin to process the fact that they forgot to study. Adam's mind is racing, and he panics, but he's able to sit down and control his breathing and lower his blood pressure. Adam interprets the situation as a challenge, and he uses his adrenaline to sit down and focus for the next 2 hours he has to utilize before the quiz. He realizes the quiz is a large portion of his overall grade, and that he can save his GPA if he does decent. Adam uses this rationale to channel a sense of calmness while he studies. Adam, after the 2 hours, feels that he's confident and he can do reasonably well on the quiz and actually ends up receiving an 80. Adam feels a sense of pride that he was able to control his emotions and still focus enough to obtain a decent grade. Bob is in the same situation as Adam, but he cannot seem to quiet his mind down, and he paces around his apartment for the next 30 minutes and begins to think of all the other coursework he has to complete in the next few days. His anxiety and cortisol hormone stress levels increase. Bob spends another 30 minutes complaining to his roommate about how he has too much on his plate and he just doesn't have enough time to study. Bob begins to think of all the negative things that could happen. Even though the quiz won't fail him, he realizes a low grade will affect his GPA negatively, and he just thinks about Q-dropping the course. Bob looks at his clock and realizes that he only has 30 minutes before the quiz and anxiously looks over the material, not being calm enough to absorb any of the information. Bob goes to take the quiz and bombs it, receiving a 30. This one negative event causes him more stress, and he repeats the same pattern in different courses throughout the year, and he ends up getting a failing GPA for the year.